So as we invite the palms to join our heart center, and we bring the strands of our minds into an intention, we visualize ourselves embodying this practice rooted in loving kindness. And we make of that intention an opportunity to create a new habit. Habits are stronger than intention. So whenever you feel that you're falling off that intention, like falling out of balance, you can make the choice to pause and return to that intention, and also return to your breath, your home. Let's open with the Om sound, inhaling deeply through the nose, a big exhale through your mouth, and then breathing in again if you choose to join. Then we connect the head to the hands and the heart together, releasing the palms when you feel ready to do so, lifting the head and opening the eyes. Welcome again, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm moving towards the mat, and today we are going to start on our backs, and I'm also going to have a belt with me. If you don't have a belt at home, a scarf will do, or a big towel that you can pull from the ends. And so that's the beginning for today. So I'm going to lie down on my mat. And as I lie down, if you want, of course, if you know me, I usually like to just take a couple of breaths here to take notice of your body. So just drop everything for a moment, take a few breaths, starting to invite nostril breathing and trying to create a relationship with that breath and trying to keep that relationship really lovingly connected throughout the practice. So we notice sometimes tingling, throbbing, pulsing, or maybe some pain around some joints or areas in the body, and that gives us the chance to carve the practice of ahimsa, non-harming, non-violence in our practice, either in our thoughts, in our actions, or words. Once you feel ready and a little bit like, okay, you did a scan, top to bottom, bend your right knee, take your belt. Mine already has a loop, but you don't need to use the loop. So I'm going to just go with the length of the belt, and I'm going to just place it under my toes. So it's going to be at the base of my toes. I'm going to extend that leg up towards the ceiling, and I'm going to try and lengthen through the left leg. If you have lower back pain and both legs extended does not feel good for you, then bend the left knee and put the left foot down, okay? And of course, same with that same idea, if that right knee needs to be more bent, slightly or not so slightly bent, keep it bent, okay? So this is just the beginning. I'm going to do 3 versions of this little flow that I'm creating here. So we gradually open our hamstrings and we move a little more, okay? So I'm going to push through the right heel, start activating my quads, my kneecaps into the bones slowly and gradually, and try to press through the base of the toes into that belt or prop that you have to start opening the leg. So breathe in and out here. Try to lengthen your right sitting bone towards your left foot. And then I'm going to say something kind of funny, but let your left leg go, I'm going to say 1 inch to the left. So let it open to the side, just 1 inch, it's tiny. And then you're going to internally rotate that left leg, if it's extended, of course. And then after you do that internal rotation, so the inner thighs moving down towards the midline of your mat, then keep it like that and bring the leg again 1 inch in towards where it was in the beginning, okay? So we are trying to create that internal rotation and press the inner thigh down on that left leg. And I just did a little bit of a trick to help that rotation. 1 more breath here. Good, and then I'm going to release that right leg, put the foot down, extend the right leg out, and let's switch sides. I'm going to now put my belt in the mounts of my left toes. I'm going to extend that left leg up. Remember, at your discretion, whichever level of extension for the leg goes for this moment, push through the heel, press through the base of the toes, and I'm starting to activate my quads, my kneecap, trying to hug the muscles to the bones. And I'm also trying to send the left sitting bone towards the right foot. Breathing in and out here. And then applying that extra trick. So I'm going to open my right leg 1 inch to the right. It's tiny, okay? It's very subtle. And then I'm going to internally rotate my right leg. So the inseam of my pants or yoga pants, they are kind of like moving in towards the midline of my mat, okay? Try to keep that left leg pushing up towards the ceiling. Good, and then after I did that internal rotation, I'm going to return with my right leg that 1 inch back towards the midline, okay? Lengthen through the lumbars if you can, so there's no arching or less arching in your lower back, and press a little bit more through the left heel. Inhale, exhale, and slowly bend that knee, release that belt. Extend the left leg, take a breath here. We are going to version number 2, okay? Good, so similar, but I'm going to start adding things. So now I'm going to, again, belt my right foot at the base of the toes. I'm going to extend through the leg again. And again, I'm going to try this time without doing that little trick that I did before, but just with that memory of what we did in the left leg, again, try to bring the inseam of your left leg in towards the midline of your mat, okay? Keep that action. And now I'm going to change this by holding both ends of my belt on my left hand. Don't do yet anything. You'll see this one is not your usual version. And I'm going to send my right leg. Now I'm going to say 3 inches over to the left. So it's right above like the midline of my body, okay? Like you can see my leg is still up and it's not going all the way to the other side. You're going to start feeling perhaps a little bit more of that IT band or going into the hamstring. And now I'm going to add another prop, which is our hands. I'm going to use my thumb in the hip crease of that right side. And with my 4 fingers, I'm going to catch, you can see perhaps in the camera maybe, I'm catching with my 4 fingers like the side of my glute, okay? The hip and the side of the glute. And then I'm pushing it away from my armpit, okay? So my right leg is in a tiny diagonal, I'm going to say 10 to 15 degrees to the left. And with my right thumb and hand, I'm pushing my outer hip or lateral hip and glute out towards the end of my mat. Deep inhale. And exhale. Good. Then bring it back to center. Bend that knee, release that leg. Good, let's go with the second side. I'm going to put my belt now on top of the left mounts of the toes, and I'm going to re-extend the leg. We are adding little pieces, okay? So don't rush. Remember, we want to activate the front of that left leg, pushing through the heel. My left sitting bone is grounded for now until I move the leg. And then my right leg, if you need to move it out a little bit like we did in the first version, you can move it 1 inch out and then rotate in, right? Sometimes that helps. That's why I did it in the beginning. And then you can return with the leg a little bit more into the midline, okay? So we keep that, we keep both legs super active. And then I'm going to hold both my belt loops or ends with my right hand so I can start moving that left leg 10 degrees or 15 over to the right, okay? My heel and the base of my toes in the left foot, they are still pushing and actively moving away from my body, okay? So you already will feel perhaps a little bit of that stretch in the outer hip or glute or hamstring, depending on how it is for you. If the lower back feels sensitive and you're feeling some pain, then please bend the knee or just stay a little closer right to the chest. Good, now let's use that left hand with the thumb going into the left hip crease, the 4 fingers into your outer glute or hip. And as you keep that left leg 10 degrees over to the right, push with the left thumb and the hand away from your armpit and feel that opening in that area. Keep breathing. Now I'm going to ask a tricky question. What happened with your right leg? It possibly went to sleep. So see if you can bring again that inner thigh down towards the midline of your mat and push through the left heel. Sorry, right heel. The left also, but I'm talking now about the right leg. It looks easy, but it's not so easy what we are doing. Good. And then slowly return, bend that knee, extend the leg, take a deep breath in and out. Okay, last portion. So third version, I'm going to move so I can do it more properly. Again, I'm going to put my, my belt at the base of my toes and I'm extending. Remember that we are adding pieces, right? So I'm holding the leg again. I'm pushing through the heel. I'm activating the front of my leg and grounding through my sitting bone. Remember in the beginning when I said we send the sitting bone towards the opposite foot? So do that. There's already there an opening in your lower back, okay? Left leg now internally rotates. You can move it a little bit out to the side if you want to help you with that internal rotation or keep it in. Good, keep that. Now we take with both belts on the left hand and I'm going to, I'm adding, right? So now what I'm going to do is to take that leg further. The hand is still going to work like I did before, but I'm going to start taking that leg a little over, and then I'm going to put again the thumb into the hip crease and the 4 fingers in my glute or outer hip, and I'm going to push it out and away from my armpit. And the leg is going much further to the left. It's not coming all the way to touch the floor, but it's kind of like almost like parallel to the floor if you can get there. And you'll feel a little bit more of that action in the leg, okay? Try to keep the left leg pushing through the heel and internally rotating, even though it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, okay? Good, now stay there for another breath. Keep the actions that you're doing and open your right arm out to the side and bring the chin to the right. One more breath. Good, we return to center, back with the leg up. Ooh, I can feel it also. Bend that knee and let that leg rest. Take a deep breath in and breath out. Good, last side. We go back with the belt onto the mounts of the left toes. I'm going to push that heel up. I'm activating, of course, my leg, hugging the muscles into the bones. Then I'm going with my consciousness into my right leg and I'm going to internally rotate it as much as possible. So I keep that leg super active, pushing through the heel. Good, last side. Now I'm going to take both ends of the belt with my right hand. Left hand is going to be, again, my little tool to open up the lumbars there and the groin. And I'm going to take the leg a little further this time. Before you put the hand, let that leg come a little further, okay? Then I'm going to hook the thumb into the groin, the 4 fingers right outside my hip, and I'm going to start pushing that left hip away from my armpit. Left heel pushes away together with the base of the toes. And see if you can keep that right leg moving internally towards the midline of your mat. Good. If you have the space, open the left arm to the left side and bring the chin to the left. For one more breath. Then we slowly return to the center, bend that left knee, release the leg, take a deep breath in, and deep breath out. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm bending my knees. I'm rolling over my right side, but it doesn't really matter which side, pick one. And I'm going to extend my underarm. I'm going to, let's say, talk for the right side if you're doing like me. So right arm goes under. I'm going to extend my body so I'm looking at it so I can create a long line that is straight. But this is already starting to practice balancing. And this type of balancing can be a little challenging. So if that's the case for you, you can bend your under knee and keep it a little bit closer to the front of your mat like I'm showing, and this will give you a lot more stability in the shape, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do here, look at this little trick that I'm going to do, which is super good for the body. I'm pushing with my left hand and lifting myself a little so I can lengthen my underside and armpit. I'm actually going to make more space. So I'm lifting, I'm lengthening a little bit more that underside, and then I'm coming over. Some people may need a pillow or a blanket or something in between your head and your arms. So you're absolutely welcome to do so, okay? Then I'm going to press the back of my pelvis into the front of my pelvis. And I'm going to just bring my upper arm over the head. And with the underarm, with the right hand, you're going to catch your left wrist and pull, pull, pull so you stretch the sides. Good. Push through your heels if possible. And then we're going to add a little bit of wrist stretches here so you can, I don't know if you can see, but with my left hand, I'm moving my wrist a little bit, doing circles, and you can reverse it. Good. Okay. Super. Then release that, and with your left hand, go and catch your belt again. I hope that you kept it close by. Good. Now with the belt, for me, I already have a loop, so I'm going to use it because I like, it feels like a little easier, but you don't need the loop if you don't want. I'm going to loop my left foot, which is the upper foot, right? And this time I'm going to put that belt close to my heel. With my left hand, I'm holding into that loop or just pulling from the ends of the belt. Okay, good. Remember that you can bend your underneath if you need extra balancing, okay? And now from here, main idea is to press the back of your pelvis forward, keep that extension in the underside of your body, and then start pushing through the left leg up towards the ceiling. Now, I want to say a few things about this. This is a posture that it's like, the more we practice it, like everything, the easier or the more stable it feels. If this feels like, what, this is too much for me, you bend your knee, and the main idea here to develop balance is to push that back pelvis forward. So that's the main thing that I want you to do. Don't let it go backwards. Push the back of your pelvis into the front of the pelvis, and you extend that upper leg as far or to the limit that it goes for you today, okay? Try to rest the head so the neck doesn't become tense as much as possible. Push through your right heel, the one that is on the floor, on the mat. Beautiful. Good. Bend that knee. Release that belt. Come onto your back. Take a deep breath. Good. Exhale, release. Beautiful. You can roll over to the other side, or like me, I'm going over because I want you to be able to see me, so I'm just switching sides, okay? Good. Second side. Now I'm going to come on to the opposite side. I'm doing my left. For this one, because I have my microphone there on my ear, I'm going to kind of like change a little bit the way I'm putting my head, so hopefully you can still hear good. Okay, so I'm sideways, and again, remember, if you need to bend the underknee for extra surface, right, to be supported, you do that. If not, extend through the legs. You can even check with your eyes if the body looks straight, because sometimes we feel it straight, but it doesn't look like that when we check. And then after, keep the belt close by. After you have that, press the back of the pelvis forward and bring the upper arm over the head. And with the left hand, I'm catching or holding my right wrist. Pull first, so feel that length in the upper body and the underside. Good. Push, push, push through the heel and extend. And then if you want, do a little bit of that circling action with the right hand a few times, one way and the other, to mobilize our wrists. You can even play with the fingers like I'm doing a little bit, like fist and then out. Good. Okay, beautiful. Then I'm bringing my right hand down. I'm going to catch my belt, loop or not loop, and put my right heel now inside the loop that I have, okay? Once you have that loop or the ends of the belt, good. Now from here, I'm going to press the back of the pelvis into the front, and slowly I'm going to work towards that length in the upper leg. Now, if that pelvis is going really far back, then you're going to be compressing a little bit into the lower back. That's why we want to work not only that we are creating more core stability, but we want to really squeeze the glutes and press back pelvis to front pelvis, back pelvis to front pelvis, like one of my teachers says. Good, and then push through the heel, the upper heel if you can, so the inner legs are super active. And I'm pushing also through the underside of my body to lengthen and extend. One more breath. Nice. Then bend that knee, release that belt. Good. Go back to your back for a moment. Good. Okay. Then from here, we are going to bend both knees into the chest, rock a little bit from side to side. Good. Then cross one shin in front of the other, whichever one feels comfortable, and do a few rocking motions front and back. So we go alongside the spine. One more time. Good. And then from there, we come towards a seat or something similar or something that looks a little bit like a seat, and we move towards a tabletop. Okay. Welcome, good morning, everyone. Now that we are in the tabletop, check the position of your pelvis over your knees and your shoulders over your wrist. And let's take 3 cat-cows here. Inhaling, opening the chest, sending the shoulders down. Exhale, draw the navel in, widen the wings. And again, inhale, exhale. One more. Exhale. Good. We get back to the neutral position. And before we keep moving, I'm going to start working on some balancing postures here. I want to say that if your wrists are sensitive or you need to modify this and do it on forearms, you can always put 2 blocks right where your hands would be and put the forearms there so you have an elevated tabletop like if you were on your hands, okay? So modify as needed. Okay, first thing that I'm going to do here today is to draw my abdomen into my spine. So when we're in the tabletop, it's very normal and natural that we let the lower back dump a little bit, right? So to develop balance, and we need to strengthen that area and create that core all around that area. So I want you to really be mindful of that. We are going to lift through the abdomen and lengthen through the lumbars. I'm going to lengthen through the crown of the head. And the first little trick that we are going to do today is to extend the right leg up and back. And like we did when we were lying down, I want you to open that right leg 1 inch out to the right. So remember when I said move the leg a little bit out 1 inch to the right? Okay, same idea. Once you do that, now I want you to send the inner thigh up towards the ceiling. So that inner thigh that before we were moving to the floor, now it's moving up to the ceiling. And then keeping that, bring the leg again towards the neutral place. You got the idea? So I moved my leg out, then I did that internal rotation again, like we did when we were on the floor, and then I'm bringing it back towards the midline of my mat. Awesome. Now lift the navel up towards the belly and see if you can keep that action and extend the left arm out. Let's count to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release and shake it a little bit. Okay, Super. Let's go with the second side, okay? We are in the tabletop. Remember, navel up. It's very important to hold there at the core, lengthen through the crown of the head, extend the left leg up and back. Good. Now, once I'm there, I'm resetting my navel up because it tends to want to drop. I'm going to open my left leg 1 inch out, and then I'm going to create that internal rotation again. So I'm sending my left inner thigh up, up, up towards the ceiling, and then I'm bringing the leg back to the midline of the mat or the place where it was before, right? Good. Keep that. Lift that lower belly up. When you're ready, keep that internal rotation in the inner thigh going up, up, up. Send the right arm forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And shake it a little. Awesome. Okay. From here, I'm going to turn my fingertips out to the sides a little. So I'm spinning my hands so it opens a little bit more into the chest. Move your knees a few inches behind the hips. Widen the feet so we have a wide down dog for our first one. Tuck your toes, and then we go up. Slowly, starting to push through the hands. Take a moment to look at the position of your hands and give yourself the space needed. Make sure that your thumbs are grounded and mainly the base of your thumbs and forefingers, and then push so the sitting bones go up and away from one another. Stay there, down dog. You can pedal your feet a few times if you need. Super, Lorena, that looks awesome. Good. And don't forget that this posture is about making your sacrum the highest or the apex of your shape, okay? So you really want to use the power of your arms and your upper body pushing through the hands to create that lift, okay? Beautiful. Valerie, that looks amazing. Okay, now keep sending the sitting bones up and widening them away from one another. And then keep that and try to lift the pelvic floor towards your floating ribs. So you'll see that with that, you're going to be like undoing a little bit of the arch in the lower back, okay? So bring that pelvic floor a little bit up towards the ribs, drop the neck, make that head super heavy. Good, and then walk your hands back towards your feet. Make your toes point out towards the sides of your mat and come towards a squat. We come here for a moment. You can keep your arms down if you want, or hands touching like the prayer position. Take a deep breath in and out. And again, breathing in and out. Good, then from there, slowly lift the hips, bring the toes in again so the feet are parallel. Draw the lower belly up, fold over the legs. You can bend, of course, the knees if you need. Remember, we keep the neck long and the head heavy. Spread the toes. Good, and then walk yourself back towards down dog. One more time, pressing through the palms, push the sitting bones up and back. Draw that pelvic floor up. Relax the head. Good. Okay, and then we're going to gaze forward, bend the knees, step, hop, or walk, or jump to the top of your mat. And from there, bring your hands to your hips, roll the shoulders back, send the elbows up towards the skies, press through the heels, and lift up, up, up towards standing. Good. And then we are up here. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to take my strap so we can do a little bit of upper body work that I find super useful for all of us all the time. So I'm going to take my belt and I'm going to hold it in front of me. And I'm not going to say exactly how far the hands are or how close, because I want you to find a place that feels comfortable enough that you don't need to bend your elbows when you take your arms up, okay? So let's say I have this and I'm doing this and it feels like it's too tight and I need to bend the elbows, then I need a wider stance, let's say, quote unquote, for my hands, okay? So find the one that feels that you can handle. Good, and we are going to floss our shoulders, let's say. But I want you to have good stability in your body, right? So check your feet, make them hip distance or a little wider if you need. Spread the toes, and let's go from here. We are going to inhale. Don't bend the elbows. Exhale, go behind you slowly. If it feels like it's too tight, then you widen, okay? Inhale, coming up, and exhale. Again, let's go. Inhale, exhale. Trying to keep the head above the spine. Inhale, exhale. We are going to do two more cycles. Inhaling, exhale, inhale, release. That was one, so one more to go. Inhale, going all the way back. One more. Beautiful. Okay. Now I'm going to, again, use my belt. This time, I'm going to come closer so you can see. I'm going to have it shorter stance, so it's more kind of like a armpit to armpit distance, and I'm going to hold it behind me. So you see that it's a little shorter, and I'm holding from underneath, okay? So you can see that. Beautiful. Now, what I'm going to do here is, I'm not going to let my belt touch my back at all. I'm going to try and keep it at least 1 inch away from my body at all times, okay? You got that idea? And then I'm staying a little closer so you can see it, okay? So I'm staying with my belt like 1 inch or a little over behind my back so it's not touching. And this is kind of like a funky, funny move, but this is super good, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on my right side, on this side that you can see, so you can see the movement. I'm going to take my shoulder up and then back and down. And then I'm going to do the same with the other one. So I'm going to take the shoulder up and back and down. But you see how I'm trying to never touch my body with the belt, okay? So now what we are going to do, now that you saw it, we're going to play with that movement, almost like, again, like if I'm flossing, okay? So I'm going to do up, back, and down, up, back, and down, up, back, down, up, back, and down. I'm demoing, so I feel like I'm going a little fast. Don't go fast, okay? But the tension that you may be feeling, it's actually creating a lot of good strength for your neck muscles, okay? So one, and then the other. Keep going, and if you want, after a few, when you feel like it's more like oiled, you can go a little bit faster, and you see how I'm playing a little bit like a teeter-totter, let's say, and I'm going one and the other, but all the time I'm trying to not touch my belt into my body, okay? This gets tiring, I know. And then release, keep holding the belt, okay? Release there, so I'm extending now a little, I'm keeping my spine tall, and now I'm going to just push my belt again behind me, move the shoulder blades into one another and down, and just push your belt behind you. Try not to let your head do this, okay? I'm exaggerating, but the head will tend to want to come forward, so try to keep the skull right above the spine, and keep sending shoulder blades down, arms back. Breathing in and out for 2, and then we let go. Beautiful, then release. Let that belt rest, and let the shoulders and the arms rest for a moment. Beautiful, okay. Let's go from here. So we go from the top of the mat this time, and before we move, we are going to do a few sequences. Please have your blocks close by so you can catch them, maybe at the front of your mat. And maybe I'm going to tell you to take also a blankie for another game. So have it also like folded there just in case. Okay, let's go from the top. Feet together. We inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale and fold, Uttanasana. Inhaling halfway, we lengthen, belly up. Exhale, right leg back, right knee down. inhale, bring the arms up and hook your thumbs. This is simply to lengthen and open the chest. So lengthen through the sides, lift up, open the chest, firm the hips in. Good, exhale. Bring the left leg back to downward facing dog. One inhalation here. Exhale. Then inhale, send the right leg up and back. Good, now little trick here. Send that right leg out 1 inch, then internally rotate it like we've been doing all along. Send that inner thigh up to the ceiling and then bring that right leg in again. Firm the left hip in. Don't let that left hip slay to the right, to the left, okay? Bring the right knee to the chest, then back up, right leg up, right foot forward, left knee comes down. Inhale, arms up overhead, hook the thumbs, second side, open up, firm the hips, just opening the chest. Exhale, bring the left foot forward and fold. Good, on the way up, our favorite posture, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, lift up into a seat. Draw the belly up, open the chest. Good, then inhale, go up. Exhale and release into Tadasana. Nice, let's go with the second side. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, Uttanasana, fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, left leg back, left knee down. Firm the hips. We inhale, we hook the thumbs. If you remember, switch thumbs. Extend through the sides, sacrum long, opening up the chest. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Second side, left leg goes up. Good. Stay there. Firm the right hip into your midline. Send the left leg out just a little, maybe 1 inch, okay? Then internally rotate that inner thigh. Send the inner thigh up, up, up to the skies. Good. Then bring that leg a little closer again to the midline. Bring the left knee in to the plank. Left leg up and back. Good. Left foot forward, right knee down. We come up again. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Lengthen and open, sacrum long. Chest feels wide. Exhale, right foot forward and fold. Utkatasana, the chair shape. Draw the belly up, sitting bones low. Open the chest. Inhale, come up. Exhaling to Tadasana. Nice. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Good. Let's go again. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, we fold, Uttanasana. Inhaling halfway. This time I'm going to place my hands down and walk back to downward facing dog. Good. Find your down dog. Trying to ground through the base of your toes and the center of your heels. Spread the toes, lift that sacrum, draw the pelvic floor up. Good, let's look forward and come to plank, and then come all the way down to the floor. If you need to use your knees first, use your knees first, okay? Today, I'm going to play a little bit here also. I'm going to bring my palms and my arms alongside my torso. I'm going to put my palms down. They are, the backs of my palms are down and my palms are facing up, okay? I'm going to extend through the legs. Sacrum is long and I'm lifting my belly button up towards the lumbars, okay? Keep pressing through the tops of the feet for now. Roll the shoulders back, lift, and you can lift your arms as well, okay? Inhale, widen through the collarbones. Draw that sacrum in. One more breath. Good. Release the hands, put them under the shoulders. We lift up to cobra. Exhale. Tuck your toes. We go up, downward facing dog. Another breath here. Good. Then we are going to inhale the right leg up and back. Right foot comes forward. Good. Left knee, bring it down. Okay, now from here, a little trick we are going to do. The left thumb, I'm going to bring it close to my right big toe. So you know how many times we leave that left arm under the shoulder? I'm going to change that politically incorrect and bring the left thumb very close to your right, the left, thumb towards your right big toe, okay? So we are going to keep that, and we are going to work with what we've been doing so far. I'm going to send my right hip into my body, and I'm going to twist over to the right, opening the chest. Why did I move that hand a little bit in? Because this is making you work your balance more, okay? So that means that you have to hug everything into the midline, bring the belly button up towards the chest, up towards the skies, and squeeze those inner thighs into one another. Inhale, exhale. One more breath. Good. Exhale, release. Good. Now I'm coming back with my hands where they usually go, and I'm going to lift my left knee off the mat. Firm again that right hip in. Draw the navel up towards your nose, and we come up to the high lunge. Inhale here. Exhale. Lengthen through the sides. Try to make your pelvis neutral. That will help you with core. It's less back bendy. It's more contained. Good. And then bring your hands down. And this is the moment when you're going to catch one of your blocks. I hope you have it there. So I'm putting just one block in front of me, and I'm putting it tall so I can hold from it. And from there, I'm going to make a leap of faith, and I'm going to lift into a warrior 3. If you need the 2 blocks, put the 2 blocks. It's more stable, actually. Okay? So 1 or 2. And then I'm going to play again with the same thing that we did before. So I'm going to let that left leg go out 1 inch to the left. Then I'm going to internally rotate it as much as I can, so that inseam of your pants in the left, they should go up to the ceiling. Lengthen the sternum, lengthen the heart, and now make your right hip move into your body. It will want to go to the right. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Lengthen through the heart. Draw the belly up. This is a warrior 3, okay? Very toned, very strong. Balancing action. 1 more breath. And then slowly bend the front knee. Bring that back foot down to the lunge. Good. Put the hands down, plank pose. Lower through chaturanga or the knees first. Good. Again, we are going to play with that version that we did before. I'm going to add a little bit to it. Extend through the legs, extend through the arms, sacrum in. Inhale, lift, and lift the legs. Glutes super awake. Inhale here. Exhale. 1 more. Then release. Beautiful. Tuck your toes. Let's go up. Downward facing dog. I promise there is a child's pose coming soon. Good. Relax the neck and the head. Draw the pelvic floor up. Push that sacrum up, up, up. Beautiful. Let's take that second side. Left leg goes up and back. Left foot comes forward. Right knee comes down. Good. First we go with that twist. Now you can see me from this side. What I'm doing with my right thumb is that I'm bringing it right next to my left big toe. So instead of the hand being more out to the side, it's coming more into like the midline of my mat, okay? Good. Once I have that, squeeze the inner thighs into one another, twist over to the left. Lean back maybe, shoulders down. Notice if the balance is a little bit more wobbly here. Squeeze the left hip in, open up, bringing the navel up to the skies. Then release that left hand. Beautiful. From here, I'm going to lift that right knee off the mat. Again, squeeze inner thigh. So remember now your right inner thigh wants to go up to the ceiling. And then we come up to the high lunge. Good. Pelvis as neutral as you can make it. Firm the hips in, lengthen through the sides. One more breath. Nice. Then slowly come down. Good. Now I'm going to catch my blocks, right? And I'm going to use them here for balance. Once you're ready, come up. I have the mantle. Good. There. Good. And I'm lifting through my right leg, of course, right? The left knee can stay a little bit bent if you want, but the most important part on the standing leg is that you press through your heel and you bring the quad into your bones. Now send the right leg out a little to the right, so maybe 1 inch. Then create that rotation, which is an internal one, so you send the inseam of that leg up to the skies. And then you bring that leg in again, okay? Then send the left hip in. It will want to lean over to the left. Bring it into the right. Lengthen the belly, lengthen the heart, shoulders back, shoulder blades firm behind the chest. Breathing in and out. One more breath. Then slowly return. Good, put those blocks out. Good, let's come up, high lunge. Then release, back to plank. Lower. Good, 1 cobra pose. Release. This time I'm adding a new version. Again, extend, send the arms back again. This time I'm going to lace the fingers behind the lower back, roll the shoulders, extend through the arms, shoulder blades down, sacrum in, and lift. Release. 2 options from here, either up to down dog or child's pose. I'm going to choose the second one. Take a few moments here. Good. We have an opportunity now to check in again with the breath, trying to commit to it and slow it down. Returning to your intention. Softening the skin in the face. Just a few more moments. Good. One more full inhale. Fluid exhale, letting go, release. And then slowly we press up. Good. Coming towards a seated posture. If you want, you can put a block in between the heels and sit on top of the block. Okay. And if not, you can sit in between the heels and or on top of the heels. Okay. You can choose. Just a moment here. We're going to bring the palms on top of the thighs. Feel your body in space, your spine from the base up, relaxing the shoulders. Take a moment softening your face. And if you have this position that I'm doing where the toes are pointing back, check if you can spread the toes a little bit. So we create the habit of giving more space there. It's a good way to activate the backs of the legs. Good. And then just rest here, lifting through the sides of your torso, widening the lungs. Relaxing the shoulder blades down. Notice anything that arises. Don't push it, don't fight it. Just be the observer as much as you can. Good. Then slowly opening the eyes, we'll send the arms out to the sides. And from there, we are going to inhale, send your arms a little further back. And with the exhale, bring your right arm over the left. And we are going to attempt to take the eagle arms, okay? If this is not a shape that is comfortable or happens in your body, both hands over the shoulders, just with the right arm over the left one, and you stay here, okay? Elbows, we try to bring them parallel to the floor, and either or, whichever version you are taking, bring your chin slightly in. It's not completely all the way, it's just a tiny bit in, lengthening through the cranial portion of your head, like the back of the cranium, up, 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 and take 2 breaths here. Beautiful. Let's inhale, send the arms out and back again. And with the exhale, I'm switching, left arm on top, eagle arms again, either hands or crossing. I'm lifting the elbows until I find them more or less parallel to the floor. And then from there, I'm going to gently bring my chin down, soft face, soft throat, 2 breaths. Good, then release, inhale again. And with the exhale, bring the arms down, beautiful. Take yourself out of that Virasana shape. And we're going to bring the legs in front. And I'm taking my belt again to use it one more time, okay? Shake a little bit through the legs here. Good, and now you will need, if you didn't do it before, you will need a loop. So I'm going to make a loop, and this one is going to be big. I'm going to make it pretty big. So as you can see, I did a super big one with a little bit of my tail out, okay? You will, of course, have to adjust as we go with the shape, okay? Once you have that, make sure that your buckle and the tail of your belt is in a place that you can easily catch it so you can play with it when needed, okay? The back side of my belt, I'm going to use it to get inside. So as you see, I'm getting inside my belt. And then I'm grabbing that back side and I'm going to put it right in my armpits. So it's right behind my chest, as you can see, across my back. And I'm hooking it into my armpits, okay? Some of you may have done this week with me already. I like this balance very much, okay? And it's always good to deepen it. Okay, so from here, I'm going to bend both my knees. I'm sitting tall, and with the other end of my belt, what I'm doing is to come and hook it right at the base of my toes. So I'm putting it under my feet, right at the base of the toes, okay? Remember that you want to have the end of your belt available or reachable, so if you need to adjust it, okay? Good, from here, I'm going to put my hands right behind me on the mat or the floor, and I'm going to lean back a little to start pushing with my legs. Wait, I need to adjust where I put my belt. I'm going to start pushing with the base of my toes into my belt to lift it up. This looks like the boat pose. That's what we are doing with the help of the belt, okay? So now I'm pressing really strongly through the base of my toes. I'm pushing through the center of my heels. And of course, I'm toning my legs and my inner thighs. They are moving down, like where we started the session today. And I said, let's send the inseam of the pants down to the mat. Same idea. Now from here, I'm going to also push into the back of my chest so I can lift the sternum up, okay? So draw the navel up towards the nose. Take a deep inhalation. And exhale. One more. Keep sending the shoulder blades down, push into that belt. And then if you want to add a little bit more balancing act, bring the hands to the belt and hold it there. You're going to feel perhaps a little bit of swinging on your sitting bones, so try to find that balance for you. Keep the chest wide. Push through the heels. Of course, you can stay with the hands touching down, okay? And version number 3, if you want, you bring your arms parallel to the floor. If you found that place where you can balance on your sitting bones, then it won't be such a big challenge, but sometimes it takes time to get there. So it's important to push into the belt with the back of your chest and to press, of course, through the base of the toes. I'm trying to spread my toes as much as I can, keeping my chin slightly in, lengthening through the back of the skull. Another breath here. Good. Then slowly bend the knees, hold on to your belt, or you can catch the floor and bring the legs down, take that belt out. Wow, that felt good. Okay, super. Now from here, I'm going to come onto my back. Take a moment here with the feet down on your mat. Release your torso. Good. Let's widen the feet and just take your arms out to a cactus shape for a moment. Bring both knees to the right, then back to center, and both to the left, and back to center. One more. Both knees to the right, back to center, both to the left, and back to center. Good. Reset your feet so they are more or less in the line of your sitting bones. They can be a touch out of that. Good. Then we are going to bring the robot arms, like one of my other teachers says, robot arms by pushing the elbows down next to your trunk and hooking your shoulder blades behind the chest. Hooking, but by that I mean tucking them in, and also move the shoulders down away from your ears, okay? Good. Try to keep your pelvis neutral. We are going to use the power of the legs, the hamstrings, the glutes, the hips, and core. Of course, all of that is the core. So I'm going to try and do that as I press into the elbows and lift the pelvis. Then I'm bringing my elbows in again by pushing through the feet so I can lift my pelvis a little higher. Sacrum in. Use the power of your glutes and hips. And then bring the arms down to lace the fingers and lift into that bridge pose. Spread the toes, push into the heels. Don't let that sacrum collapse. Then release the arms, slowly come down. Take a moment, don't do anything yet. Good. Widen the feet again and let the knees touch. So you bring the knees in, like knock knees in to the midline. Take a deep breath in and out. One more like that. Good. Okay. Now from here, we bring both feet again towards the midline or the center of the mat so they are parallel. And extend your left leg and bring your right knee in. Just hug it into the chest. This is a really good way to release the lumbars after back bending. So we hug that knee in. And then only on that side, I'm going to take the happy baby pose. Okay, try to keep lengthening through the left leg. If not, you can bend the knee on the opposite leg and put the foot down, okay? Try and see if you can make that shin in your right leg perpendicular to the floor. Just an idea, okay? It doesn't have to happen. You can also hold your ankle or your shin if the hand, sorry, if the arm is not long enough, okay? One more breath. Then slowly release, extend that leg, take a moment. Good, let's go into the second side. First, hug the knee in, extending the right leg. Good, and then I'm taking that half happy baby, catching my foot, ankle or shin, trying to bring that hamstring a little bit lower or more parallel to the floor. Lengthen through your right leg or bend the knee if it feels a little tired at this point in the practice. One last breath. Beautiful. Then slowly release, extend both legs. Good. Last thing that we are doing here, bend both knees now. Open your arms to a T letter. Bring both knees in. Wait, and before you bring your knees in, just shift your hips over to the left like a couple of inches. Then bring both knees to the chest and bring them over to the right. I'm trying to send the knees high towards my elbow, but if that doesn't happen, you keep them a little lower. It's all good. Now I'm trying to drop both my shoulders down and bring the chin to the left. Twisting here. Stay there. Good. So I'm going to give you an extra option here for this twist, but it's only if your lower back feels okay and your lower discs are also fine and there's no issues there, okay? So a nice option to kind of like deepen a little bit more that twist can be that your left leg extends and with your left toes, you try to go towards your right fingers. So the under leg would stay as it is, bent, and the upper leg would be extended, trying to touch your right fingers, okay? But it doesn't have to be. It's just an idea for whoever wants to go a little further. Nice. For one more breath. Beautiful. Then slowly bending both knees, if they were not, just bring them back towards the chest. Put the feet down. Good. And then lift or shift the pelvis and the hips a little bit to your right this time. So we switch sides. And then you'll open your arms again over to the sides like a T letter and bring both knees over to the left. And this is, again, you graduate it as your body allows, okay? So maybe the knees are just in the same line of your hips. Maybe they are coming a little higher towards your left elbow, if that feels okay in the lower back. Try to drop your right shoulder and really bring weight from the left side of your belly over to the right. And the last portion, if you want to add it, is to extend your right leg, trying to push through that heel, coming towards the left fingertips with your toes. Take a few breaths. Beautiful. One more on this side. And then slowly bending both knees if they are not, return towards the chest. Beautiful. Hug both knees into your chest like if you're giving yourself a hug, so you can cross your forearms like on top of your shins and bring them in. And take a deep breath, bringing your head towards your knee. So it's like a cannonball, right? We hold everything in, deep inhale there. And then with the exhale, release everything, extend the legs, extend the arms to the sides, or you can choose, of course, to bend the elbows and place the hands on your belly. And we are coming towards Shavasana. But if you would like and you have a wall close by where you want to put your legs up, you are more than welcome to do that. It's just a suggestion. You don't have to. It's a nice way to create an inversion by the end of our practice, okay? If it's like a lot of things that you have to do, moving a lot, don't sweat it. Just stay in Shavasana. I'll let you know when we are done, okay? So if the legs are moving up towards a support, you just let them rest on something and you drop your trunk, you relax the chest, you let the arms be also relaxed onto earth. We soften the head, the brain, the face, and we return to stillness.